Hello, YouTube, and I'm Nightmare X, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I actually found something, like right before I started recording, so I'm gonna make a video about that. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was gonna make this video about. Again, I spent way too long trying to make the video. Right now it's 5:49 in the morning. That last hour really went by fast. So I found this YouTube channel while trying to look up videos about a comics character. I found this channel called Punisher Comics, and oddly enough it has barely anything to do with the Punisher. I think the guy behind it all just likes the Punisher. But there was this one video that he did that I don't know about. One of the things he does is he reviews bad comic book characters. And there was this one video where he talked about two characters in the same video. He talked about Dread Knight, who I had never heard of, and now I almost regret hearing about him, because yeah, he is pretty bad. He is kind of lame, but I mean, he looks cool. So I don't get it. Like, I guess you can do anything and it could still suck. And then the other one he talked about in that same video was Cluemaster. Now, Cluemaster is someone I think is not lame, but this guy thinks he is. And I don't know about this. Like, I try to see the good in every character, and there's a lot of subject matter for both sides with Cluemaster. Also, if it looks like I have a shadow, I couldn't really shave with a razor. I had to use the trimmers, like for buzzing your hair off. Yeah. The razor was just pulling, and it didn't really work. So, sorry, Ashley. She wanted me to get a clean shave right before the video. But anyway. One thing I like about Cluemaster is his gimmick isn't really done anywhere else. I mean, it's similar to the Riddler, but it's not really the same thing. What he did was leave clues to his he left clues about the information of his next crime, kind of spoiling it a little bit, but not enough. You know, it was just something for Batman to follow. It was a little tidbit of information. And Batman was just following a paper trail, and Cluemaster was always ahead a little bit. But Cluemaster never won, so there's that. And people did keep mistaking his work for that of the Riddler, so. In that respect, he does kind of miss the mark, because if you're ripping off someone else and you don't think so, but like everyone else does, there's something wrong with your gimmick. Like, characters like that are just not making it as what they are. They need to be something different. Because everyone thinks that Cluemaster is a rip-off Riddler. But he's really, well, he's a little different. I mean, the Riddler does like big elaborate things, and Cluemaster just leaves a paper trail. If you had to ask one thing that I really, really like about Cluemaster, it would be something that only had a little bit to do with him. The conflict he had with his daughter. They were sort of like two sides of a coin, you know, complete opposites. She wanted to be a hero, and he wanted to be a villain. All because he was a game show host, but it didn't really work out. And then he was left a smart guy with no way to make a living, so he was thinking to himself, how am I going to support my family? And that's when the Cluemaster was born inside this, I forget his name, it's something Brown. But anyways, his daughter is Spoiler. So you can kind of guess where this is going. Batman starts going after a villain called Cluemaster, and this teenaged rookie shows up calling herself Spoiler. What ends up happening is Spoiler becomes a female Robin, and then later goes back to being Spoiler, and then has a thing with Tim Drake, and it gets kind of exciting. And Cluemaster really started all of that, and without him, there would have been no Spoiler. And Spoiler's a great character. I mean, I guess Cluemaster has a few faults. I'll give you that much. He's his costume is a little dated. It kind of needs revising. No one's ever done that. People mistaking his work for that of the Riddler, I mean, that just basically tells me that he needs to get a more original looking gimmick. I mean, leaving a paper trail about his next crime is exciting and all, because you get to put the pieces together before the next comic. But at the same time, it is a little familiar. So I don't know how some fans receive that. Basically, I'm waiting now for the next episode of this comic character review from this Punisher comics, because he's pretty cool, and I'm gonna link him in the description right below Ashley. Shout out to Ashley. Check her out. I don't know. In my next video, I might talk about the good points of another character, and we can do it with Ashley. Like, I can have her on the phone, so we're sharing opinions. It might be a cool thing to do. So, basically, I looked at some of the other videos that he covered, some of the other characters that he covered. There was Turner D. Century, which is a character I like, but apparently he thinks it's lame. So that might be the one I choose for the Saturday video upcoming. I don't know. Then there is the Golden Age Hydro Man. Not the Hydro Man we know and love, and barely know. No, this is a different Hydro Man, and it's a lot worse. Then there was... well, he covered Dread Knight in that same video. He covered Cluemaster. I could give my opinion of Dread Knight. I might do that. But I think Cluemaster has a lot that could have been things that could have gone good for him. You know, he has a lot of qualities that were decent, and he had a lot of opportunities that were ultimately missed because people didn't care enough. I think that's the downfall of a lot of stuff. Like, let's deviate way off the path and talk about Bionicle for a second. It completely died out there for a while. It's starting to come back now. Toys are selling again. They got a new series. I don't know when it's gonna have episodes again. It had a few, and then I don't know. It's a Netflix original though. But my point is, it was just gone for a really long time. And what was I talking about before I mentioned Bionicle? No, this is like confusing now. I don't know where I was going with that. People didn't care enough. That's where I was going with that. People didn't care enough about Bionicle, so it died. A fan base still existed, it was just smaller than it was, and that's why it came back. And Cluemaster, people just didn't really care, so he actually did die in the comics. He's actually dead in canon. So, I mean, there's no bringing him back unless they reboot his character, but then they would have to reboot Spoiler and that Batgirl with no exposed face. It's just all a mask. the one Batgirl that was like really creepy. No, I don't think she's creepy, but she got a lot of publicity for being creepy. A lot of people were talking about that. But what I don't really understand is she had it so bad, they should have expected that. Cassandra Cain was locked away all her life. She wasn't educated, she wasn't put through school, she was kept away in this room, and they would only, well, whoever was holding her would only come in to try to fight her. So she had to start to learn to defend herself. And when she got out of that situation, luckily she became Batgirl, but still yet, she's creepy. And did she ever learn to talk? I don't know. I don't know these things. But Cluemaster had a lot of potential, but people didn't really stick around to exploit it. And that's not cool. That's kind of missing the point of a comic book character. You know, you have these one-off characters that are supposed to impress the world like Robin did. Robin was supposed to be a one-off character, but then everybody wanted him in Batman comics. You're getting what you asked for. Stop acting like Batman's crazy for enlisting Robin. It's what you asked for. So, I mean, I know Robin's a kid, and every Robin is a little kid. Excuse me. But this is what you wanted. Popular demand is the only thing that brought Robin back from the first time he showed up. By the way, a little off topic, a little bit. He might have possibly, Punisher Comics might have possibly done a video talking bad about Ruby Thursday. I think I got that name right. Ruby something. She has a red ball for a head. She can shape-shift it into stuff. Mostly a big pair of lips. I don't know why, but that's a character that gets a lot of hate, but I really like her. Like, she's a good character in my opinion, because she's cool, she has a sense of humor, she's kind of like, like the love child of Whisper a Diary and Deadpool. Basically, I hope he does do videos on characters like Batroc the Leaper, the Finisher, Hitman, Fancy Dan, maybe Shocker, Rhino, And if he doesn't think they're lame, if he thinks they're cool, it'd be nice to know that, because, like, a lot of the characters I think are cool, a lot of people don't think they're cool. Like, for example, this one DC character from the Legion of Superheroes, bad rap already, Prody, basically Proto-Putty. He's a white blob that can shapeshift into anything, and he has very limited telepathic abilities because he can't speak, no matter what form he's in. That would kind of suck. You're trying to use your powers to impersonate someone, and then they try talking to you, and you just use your mind powers, but then they know you're not who you say you are. But he was actually treated like a pet, because he had pretty low intelligence and he was an alien. So he was a pet. He was treated like a dog, in a good way, like a man's best friend kind of way. Except he took up with a girl and actually gave his life for her. Yeah. One character I hope he doesn't do a video on, though, would be, like I said, Red Thursday. Ruby Thursday. I just think she's a cool villain. She had some sort of, wasn't it like a organized crime thing? Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know. It's been like a while since I read up on her. I can't read up much because I keep forgetting her name. But yeah. So go check out that channel. I'll link it in the description. And I'll link Ashley as always. And shout out to her. And you know what? I'll link my Twitter. I'm gonna start posting there on Sundays. It's not gonna be like a direct link to my videos, but it's gonna be a direct link to my channel in most of the posts. So I'll just leave you with that. You can ponder these things all night. It's 6:30. It's not night anymore. I took way too long trying to figure out what to make this video about. Doesn't this all sound familiar? But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can dislike too, I guess, because no one's perfect. Just give your honest opinion. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.